Hello and welcome to this video. This is another reaction video that is, in topic in time. I've been doing three of these recently enough, where I've just made like a series of videos that are topical, I guess. And this one is the Sniper Wolf trial. I will get into my opinions on the whole situation. But this is Saboys or Jarvis Johnson and Jordan, and actually in this case Curtis Connor, who are talking about the Sniper Wolf situation, and they get into, at least some of them get into, some odd sort of things that I disagree with. Some of the things. Anyway, let's dive into that section of the video that they did. It's a podcast. But, yeah.
Reiterate it. Maybe everything's been covered, but the Sniper Wolf stuff is interesting.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Sniper
At
Wolf.
time of recording, it was what, like not even like 12 hours ago.
This was
Yeah.
last night.
Yeah.
I think this is one of the I think this is one of the first problems. With this, which is that they are talking about a video that they're doing commentary on something which is is new for them, but is kind of old for the rest of us. Like for example, at time of my recording, Sniper Wolf has kind of apologized in a really not great way, where she apologized after YouTube said that they would be demonetizing her temporarily. One of the things that YouTube said was there was faults on both sides, and I do not agree with that categorically. So, you know, but they apparently do think there are faults on both sides, so we'll get into that. Just a bit of a thing there. So to be fair to them, it's apparently only 12 hours for them. It is 6 days old by the time they uploaded this.
Last night.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess for context, Jax Films has been doing a lot of content about Sniper Wolf. I think initially started because was talking about like how does Sniper Wolf get away with like non-transformatively reacting to other people's content, and then created a like bingo style game of which I am. Everyone tells me about because I did Darman Bingo for a long time on my stream, and I think it's like based on like Sniper Wolf tropes.
Maybe they don't know that bingo was a game.
Before.
To be fair, it's because I believe that Jack Films uses uses the same bingo thing. And I remember, by the way, when I first saw Jack Films doing this, and to be clear, I have watched the videos, and I wasn't just somebody who, came across the drama and watched the videos. I was watching the videos for a long time because I'm a person who makes reaction content. I think I would like to be ethical to at least, whatever my opinion on reaction content is, I would like to try and avoid ethical things. So at least listen to people who make videos on these. That's why I've seen videos by, Gabriella, which was awful. They made a terrible video. I covered that before, where they made an awful video where they just didn't seem to understand demand at all. One of the interesting things I actually would say about that is I made a video originally. This is a bit off topic, but I'll get back to it. This is another person who was talking about reaction content, named Gabriella, and they made a video where they talked about Dark Viper, who I've also seen, and I haven't actually made a reaction video on them, but because obviously they're against it. But Gabriella was defending reaction content. I was saying, talking about demand, because Dark Viper was saying basically when you've got this thing, there's a finite pool of impressions. So if I'm a person, I'm browsing YouTube and I've got a 40-minute lunch break. Well, I mean, obviously I can spend that time browsing like you would about Netflix. But when I click a video, I'm watching that video. Maybe I watch 4 videos, only one video, whatever the case may be. I watch those videos. And if I'm watching a reaction video, I'm not watching that video instead of a different video with an actual original video. And instead of actually critiquing reaction content, they did that as well. Instead of critiquing Jack Viper's opinion reaction on it, they did that as well. They also criticized the demand idea, which was very odd. And I said at the time, well, that doesn't really make any sense because we only have so many hours in the day. And they were like, no, there's an infinite number of impressions, and that's not true. Except, of course, if you actually think about it, which is that technically there is, because a good chunk of YouTube is botted. Like there's a lot of botting on YouTube. People don't realize this because they see the rates of scam bots where the bots are trying to lie, or misinformation bots, or channels that are run by bots, which you often use AI. For example, myself have tested that on my other channel. That actually works, by the way. That's actually a thing you can do. I have a channel that was automated. It worked fully. It would do upload videos on it by itself. But I'm talking more about like view bots, where they will view the video, they will comment, they will do all these things. You can buy these things, and they can be fairly advanced, and it takes very little, because besides it'll take a little bit of time and work to set it up originally. But beyond that, it's very easy to let it run. You do have to oftentimes do a little bit of parenting, because you don't want the bot to, run rampant and make loads of mistakes. But you can do that. And that's just a point there I'd like to clarify for anyone who viewed my initial video. Technically, it is possible to have infinite demands somewhat to an extent, because, for however much space there is in the universe to put computers down, and however many different bots you can put on an individual computer, I guess that's infinite in a sense. But anyway, back to the video. Back to the video. This is actually the point where I'm talking about the bingo thing. Um, that's the point I would like to make, which is I feel like Jarvis Johnson is probably the person who would best know this. He won't, by the way, but best know this about certain scenarios when it comes to the content Excellence is making. Because,
Yeah.
I think if he uses Bingo Baker, I will take credit for popularizing Bingo Baker.
he does. And this is the problem, I think, which is looking at content. Like, I will say, once again, apparently it's only been 12 hours. That could be a lie, but apparently it's only been 12 hours. So that's fair. But, however, the point is, it has been plenty time for him to look at the content. You cannot talk about Jack Sullivan's content that he was making about Cypherwolf and treat that the same as, it's only the drama's only been the doxing was only 12 hours ago, or at least the announcement of the doxing had occurred within 12 hours ago. You can argue that, but you can't talk about the content itself, because the content itself has been a lot more than 12 hours ago. So, yes, he does use Bingo Baker, I believe.
And I'll take his money.
But then, I think just things Sniperwolf did respond at other points in time.
Sort of. A lot more subtly. I don't think she ever responded officially. For example, one of the videos she was reacting to, there was a person doing the worm, and they looked a little bit like Jack's films, and they were going, and then Sniperwolf went, "Oh, they're sniffing over here to steal my content," and it's like, Sniperwolf, Jack's films is doing exactly the same thing as you, but better. So you can argue that Jack's films is stealing your content, and I would say yes, Jack's films is stealing your content. The only issue is that he's crediting you, and he's transforming it. You're not. You're like the most boring person ever watching a series of TikToks going, oh, really? You're not actually adding anything, which is interesting, because she could. It wouldn't be good, but it would be a little bit better, because she could add stuff. She could deliberately pick TikToks that are like, maybe a little bit mean, like prank TikToks, and go, well, that's not really fair. And people probably say the same thing as if I fucking said to Jackson, did you keep making videos doing the same thing? Well, no, they're new videos, they're brand new videos, and all this. But you could do that. You could turn into a person who reacts to unethical TikToks and critiques their unethicalness. That's easy to do if you have ethics. Which, even if you don't have ethics, then the lack of ethics is your ethics. You can comment on that. I'm just saying there are many ways that she could she could at least slightly transform the videos, but she doesn't. So that's my point. It's just, she didn't really respond that much.
I remember there was a video that Jackson did, like Sniperwolf, but every time something happens, I read a tweet she sent me tonight, which is
I believe that was when he made a video in response, not a video, a tweet in response to YouTube, when YouTube was like, where does Sniperwolf get her ideas from? Guys, I know she makes you millions, but maybe let's not pretend as if she gets her ideas from anywhere. Also, by the way, in relation to this, I think it's been claimed by the people behind the scenes of Cyberpunk content that she did fake the gaming footage. So if anyone is out there who didn't know that, apparently she did fake the gaming footage. That was all. That was all somebody else. So Return Empire has apparently been based off of creepy men who like watching women. That's interesting.
Very funny title for a
Yeah.
video.
I remember watching
But I
that
didn't
one.
watch it. Yeah. But then
Okay, well, this is the problem. What didn't watch it though, okay? Then don't comment on it. You can comment on the title. It's good that you didn't comment further. Like the video wasn't very good though. It's like, but I didn't watch it. Okay, but no. First of all, people can make like this is the side thing. Once again, people can make sarcastic videos where they sarcastically put a title in. You know, like if I made this video, so doxing's cool now. That could be saying, okay, well, YouTube CEO, I'm going to go to your house then and dox you. And so all the fascists who get banned for, good reasons, often breaking the law, can, possibly have you killed. That's unethical, clearly. That would be bad, but it would match the same type of video. So I'm just saying, But anyway, moving on.
so yeah, there was some responding back and forth, and I don't want to like
Not too much.
cast judgment on. I haven't actually seen Jack's content on Sniper Wolf. I just know
See, this is the problem, right? It's this kind of thing of, oh, I haven't seen the content, but okay. No, though, that's not. You can't comment on it. To be clear, I have seen it, and I'm not someone who saw it in the 6 days afterwards. I saw it beforehand. Saw a lot of
that
it.
there's a lot of it, and that personally like gave me a little bit of a weird vibe.
Keep in mind, by the way, this is Jarvis Johnson, the guy who made close to 100, I would say close to 100, if not more, videos live, same as Jack's films. Jack's films record these live, so he's interacting with the chat. He's playing bingo with the chat. Of Darman. This is Jarvis exactly the same as Darman was to you. Replace Darman with Sniper Wolf, and you with Jack's films, and it is exactly the same thing. What you were critiquing was the genericness of Darman's videos, where it would be the exact same trope in every single video. Jack's films is critiquing the inevitability of Sniper Wolf, using a freebooter, freebooting a freebooter's video, using black and white in the thumbnail. It's not in the thumbnail, in the video. Using a popular sound effect. You know, oftentimes there was back in the day there was Mr. Beast thumbnails would appear all the time. Mr. Beast was a very big inspiration in the not the thumbnail, in the sorry, not the thumbnail, correction, the on-screen lettering, the whole thing of like, today I got the often you see that font, the font, and that sort of thing there. So this is exactly the same as your thing there. In fact, if we're being honest, Darman never actually, to my knowledge, stole content. Darman has underpaid his workers. Darman has technically stolen the content, but not legally. Sniper Wolf has legally stolen content. She has legally stolen content. Every single person who she's reacted to, pretty much, maybe not every single person, but almost every single person, could take her to court. The same, by the way, Jarvis, as you could to me and Jordan. Not Curtis, probably. I don't think Curtis could take me to court because it would be guessed, and it's not technically his content. I don't know. I don't know about the legality of that, but Jarvis Johnson and possibly Jordan could take me to court for the use of their content. Now, of course, in a court of law. Actually, potentially not because I'm not an American, and I'm also not an English person. But I don't know. But the point is, if I was to go to court with them, I could say, well, Your Honor, I'm critiquing them, so I did not get permission from them, but you know, I'm what I'm doing is I'm critiquing them, so it's different. I'm not saying, oh, watch this, basically watch the content there. I'm critiquing them, so people who want to watch them won't be viewing my video. I'm sure if anyone wants to watch them, when I say one wants to watch them, by the way, they often make very good content. I want to be clear. This specific video, no, if anyone wants to watch this specific video, and enjoys it and agrees with it, they're not going to watch this video. I'm sure you're all gone. I'm sure no one's viewed past this 15 minutes in. But the key thing is, I would not be making a fair use argument. But Sniper Wolf can't take that because she's not critiquing the content. She's just sticking her face beside it. You know? And that is against the law. It's not criminal law, but it's against copyright law in pretty much every part of the world. So, it's not old content, it's not public domain content, it's not Creative Commons content, it's copyrighted content that she's taking. If that was a Disney trailer or a Warner Bros. Trailer or any movie trailer from a major studio that was on TikTok and she reacted to it, she would get a copyright claim. Now, of course, I'm not sure if she would get a copyright claim because often these studios are very reluctant to claiming on a big person's YouTube channel. Because, for example, I have looked at trailers before, not on this channel but other channels, and I've got copyright claims. Every single one of them. Pretty much every single one of them. But yet, other channels don't seem to get that. Who knows? But the point is that it's not legal. And neither was yours. But Jack's Films is very, very much potentially legal. If I was a lawyer working for Jack's Films, I'll go, I'm pretty confident we could win this copyright case. Pretty confident. If Darman decided to sue you, well, it's a much higher chance that Darman would win than Sniper Wolf would. All I'm saying. Let's not talk nonsense. You're in exactly the same position, if not a worse one. It's a very weird thing to me when people go, oh, they kept making videos. Like, yeah, Sniper Wolf kept stealing content. Had Jack's Films made one video, or two videos, or three videos, and Sniper Wolf had stopped making, untransformative reaction videos, had just stopped making them. Maybe it shifted into more transformative reaction videos, or just stopped making reaction videos at all. Maybe started playing games again, perhaps with faked gaming footage again, but who knows. Still technically legal because she still owns the gaming footage, she just isn't causing it to occur. But that'll be different. That'll be the reaction videos would stop then, and it would be I would understand. Yeah, it would be bad if Jackson continued to make videos then. If Sniper would have stopped and he trawled through her back library of videos he'd downloaded. If she'd removed all the reaction videos and he trawled through her back catalog, he downloaded it and kept reacting and making fun of her. She went, well, I've corrected my mistake. I've deleted the old videos or put them on private or unlisted, and I've stopped doing that. Why do you keep doing that? That would be bad. I would say, yes, definitely would deserve criticism for that. But the thing is, Sniper Wolf didn't stop. She didn't stop making untransported reaction videos. She didn't stop stealing from people. She didn't stop, clipping people's jokes out and making them herself. She didn't stop just taking someone's video entirely and putting it up, and just not even bothering to try and react to it. She didn't stop that. So for you to sit there and go, oh, you should have stopped, why should Jackson have stopped when he hadn't been successful? Why? Why would he do that? And as well, it's fun. It's a fun experience. Why exactly did you, Jordan? Sorry, not Jordan. Apologies, Jordan. It's not your fault. Jarvis. What did Jarvis This is probably reacting to two people. What did Jarvis? Well, three in this case, but podcast to two of them. What did Jarvis make so many videos on Dharma? It was a fun experience. Enjoyable. By the way, to be clear, he stopped making them, I believe. But anyway, just don't really like this attitude.
But I'm friends with Jack. I've known Jack for years, and I've worked with him before, so I'm biased. But then last night, Sniper Wolf posted an Instagram story where she was like, "My shoot is really close to Jack's Film's house."
She did 5 minutes. I on my other account had a conversation with somebody about. I said she claimed it was 5 minutes because we don't actually know how far away it was. Sniper Wolf was unlikely to dox her own home, so it's her shoot. Yes, is 5 minutes away, and I don't know if this is true because first of all, unlikely it's directly 5 minutes. Probably an estimation. Could be possibly an overestimation, but but what's also possible, in my opinion, is that Sniper Wolf would have driven, because she apparently did drive, according to her sister, apparently drove to Jackson's house. So, 5 minute drive. It's LA though, isn't it? Is LA? I think it's LA. And the question there is it really 5 minutes, or is that just to make it appear less creepy? Like if you drove, half an hour to someone's house to dox them, or even just to meet up with them, when they don't know you're outside, is, I would say, more creepy and more odd than 5 minutes. Because 5 minutes, you have to think of, well, I mean, while I'm here, I mean, it's an impromptu injection in there. But technically speaking, you could make the argument of if you weren't going there to criticize them, if you were not necessarily friends with them, but if you were YouTube colleagues, your colleagues for YouTube, it could be made the argument that well, you're both pretty popular creators. It isn't like you're some fan who's getting a little bit too involved. That's not what's going on. So the argument could be made. Well, is that fair in that situation? I'd argue possibly. She's not that. It's not okay. But if you go there, possibly, obviously once you realize that maybe you shouldn't do that. But but if it's more than 5 minutes, if it's a lot longer than 5 minutes, it would make sense what that would be. We prefer to say 5 minutes. I know it's just a small nitpick, but anyway, yeah.
Should I go say hi? She posted that on her Instagram story. She's like, it's 5 minutes away from my.
So she asked her followers.
Oh, yeah.
So it's on them.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
And then she posted
Sorry,
it. My.
So she asked her followers.
Oh, yeah.
So it's on them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean this is the other thing, which is it's not like if you go to someone's house, you can give them a fright, but technically speaking, you can go, well, that's their own fear, right? Like if I go to someone's house and they don't do anything, I don't post it anywhere, I'm just like, I know where you live. That's a threat, isn't it? But is it a threat? Am I really a violent person? If I said to you, I know where you live. First of all, could be a lie, but if I actually go turn up your house, is that a threat? I just want to say hi. Hi. You're not busy, are you? Because if you're busy, I'll fuck off. However, what makes it far, 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 far worse is doxing the person online. Because it's one thing, right? If you just post a video on it and it's kind of not really known, let's say I did a collaboration with somebody and I accidentally dox them, whether it's accidental or not. It's not out there, it's not like this is their house. But that wasn't what Sniperwolf did. Sniperwolf went, this is their house. Let's talk like adults. A thing that may well cause people to go to said house. May well cause people to pick up the fact that she's 5 million Instagram followers. It's actually more than that because there's bound to be, because of how big she is, bound to be a load of people who aren't followers of her directly, but may well like her, who, will see this. To be people who aren't sighted and all that sort of stuff. And the problem with all that is that that could cause someone to get, you know, murdered or worse. And keep in mind, it's not just Jack Films there, so it's other people as well involved. You see this from, I saw a misogynistic YouTuber weirdly go his wife, and it's like treating his wife as less, but also interesting at the same time, being like, but his wife could have been harmed. Weird side thing there. There's a lot of weird people in this. I have looked at a lot of them, and they're certainly very odd. Some of them are weirdly misogynistic. I think it is an example because Sniperwolf is, Sniperwolf has said that at the time she accused Jack of being misogynistic. I don't think he was being misogynistic, but the thing is, to be fair to Sniperwolf, a lot of people are, a lot of people did call her a bitch. So, you know, not appropriate, not what you want. And to be fair, in that scenario, I would say it's okay for her to make the claim that it's misogynistic, that he went after her specifically, because other people are misogynistic. Of course, it's a little bit lacking. It's like, oh, judge, you sentenced me to more years because I'm a woman. Yes, they may well might have, but you're still going to prison because you murdered like 500 children. Like, sure, the sentence might be longer because of who you are, but the action is still the cause of the punishment. So yeah, just a side thing again. But anyway, so
Yeah.
And then she posted an unblurred photo of the front of his house
Yeah.
on Instagram stories.
With
and
the
was like,
caption, let's talk like adults,
Adults,
or whatever.
Okay. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
the adult way to do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
That-
I tracked you down like a grown up.
So I will say, because I am not.
and then, but I'm not sure if they cover this, but like went, no guys, he posted it to Google. I think to be fair, she might mean you know, when Google has a, sorry, I'll just see if I can get this. When Google has a a so so basically, see like this, like if you looked up Jack's films, if this came up and there was like an address in here in like Wikipedia or along here, um then maybe that you could describe as posting, because technically that is posted, but it's not really the most accurate way of using the term. Like technically that would be posting, but Google doesn't really have any posting features beyond that. Um, you know, uh, every other instance wouldn't really work. You're unlikely to have a website devoted to your address. So, you know, I'm just saying, people are a bit disingenuous when they say like you can't post to Google. Well, you kind of can. Anything which is a direct thing that comes up on Google itself that you don't have to click away would technically be a posting. Like if you search it, same as it would be a posting on your YouTube channel if it's on your YouTube channel. Just because it's not maybe front page and center doesn't mean you didn't post on it. You know, some people are a bit disingenuous with that, but to be fair, yeah, you did not post it. Um, some people said that it could be the fact that if you have a business address that's the same as your home address. I don't think this is very likely to be current, because most creators who are in a good enough wage would have solicitors or lawyers who will have their own address, and they'll manage the legal side of things, and that'll be their address. So that's generally the way that people do things, or they have a business address that's like an office they rent. But yeah, I wouldn't assume that Jacksons would have an office, because a lot of YouTubers who have offices, it's once again an ego thing. It's interesting the number of people online who are. I think it is an issue, which is if you are fairly wealthy, you are very likely to make financially foolish decisions, because it doesn't actually harm you. Like if you've got 100 grand coming in every year from YouTube, like spending a good chunk of it on office space. Seems like that makes sense, right? The videos will be better. Will they though? Couldn't you just convert your home into an office? But anyway, yeah, just to me, just it was a bit odd, a bit wasteful. You know, you could have those offices get turned into actual residential, but anyway, or live in them. That's it. Anyway, side thing. Point is, yeah.
I have not consumed all of Jack's films or really any of his content about Sniper Wolf, so I don't know what type
I've consumed most of it.
of stuff was inside of it. I can only
It's basically just your stuff. It's basically just Jarvis, but like, you know, swap out the tropes of Sniper Wolf, swap out the tropes of Jarman for the tropes of Sniper Wolf, and swap out the Jarman actors and content for people's TikToks with Sniper Wolf attached, and then Jack's Films for you, and also add Jack's Films crediting the creators and using the chat and himself to try and track down the original source. So if somebody is a freebooted video, that Jackson's will take that and go, okay, well, I'm not going to obviously credit the freebooter, but this is the original TikTok. Yeah, stuff like that. That's what we do.
say optically from like the outside, but it is not okay. This should be obvious to post someone's house to your 33 million followers.
Yeah.
Yeah, like personally, I think I would probably grade serious assault as better than doxing, potentially, depending on the size of the person. If it's a person who's fairly small, no. But if it's a person who's fairly big, doxing is actually worse because the fans, if the fans are riled up, they may do something that's far worse than the creator would do. And I do mean what the creator would do, because the creator might go, well, I would never actually kill them. Fans might go, I would. Really? You would do that? Yeah. And some creators will go, well, I'd never kill them, but they may be perfectly willing to let fans do it, because obviously that means, although legally speaking, you probably are guilty of their murder still, because you incited them to do it. You didn't maybe directly tell them to do it, but it's like, I feel like you're still guilty. You probably still get a few years in prison for that. I don't think you should get a few years in prison if you just say they deserve to die, but if you just if you show them their house, show your fans their house, and then sort of go, ooh, we should talk like adults. Yeah, probably should get about a year in prison, I'd say. I don't know though. Maybe maybe not. We'll discuss that later on, Cass.
Or however many followers she has on Instagram. It's a lot.
How did she even have his address?
It's about 5 million. Once again, I keep in mind, right? I love when YouTubers don't watch the videos they're critiquing, or have sponsor reads where they're like, Disappearo. With Disappearo, you can make your identity, such as your address, your name, and your phone number, disappear from online databases. With Disappearo, with my link, you can get $5 off Disappearo for free. It's like, what, $5 off? That's bad explanation, bad ad read. But my point is, I'm pretty sure at least some of these guys have done ads for those services, or at least must have seen ads for those services which remove your identity off of banks. What I'm trying to say is, if you want to get someone's address, you pretty much can. What's interesting is that some people who are very private deliberately leak false addresses, which you'd want to be wary about if you're someone who's going to dox someone or try and show up their house, because if you buy, for example, if you try and buy my address, for example, it's unlikely that you can directly buy my address as an individual package. You probably have to buy my address as a group. But the thing is, you're probably you may not be getting the correct address. People who move around a lot benefit off of this. I know that there was a fairly major creator who had their address leaked, and they were like, well, it wasn't my actual address, it was an address I lived in 2 years ago, but I still lived there in the past. And they were obviously very concerned about that they were doxed technically, but luckily for them, it was a previous address. People who move around a lot, that helps them out, and there's people who put false flags down, who, you know, maybe leak their address when it's not actually their address. All that sort of thing that occurs there. So I'm just saying it's easy enough to buy your address. Also, yeah, there probably maybe there were financial statements, and you know, it's very likely that there is a address somewhere. But I'm not gonna Google it because you know
Yes, they had to
That
cheat.
yeah, who's just like, oh yeah,
she's sorry to explain this finally. She said that she Googled it.
like someone just DMs you. By the way, just in case you need it.
Your
Sniper
shoot's
training.
right by your shoot is right by his house.
It was a collab they were doing. That would be the perfect. What an elegant little ending that would be without all the drama.
Okay, 5.6 million followers on Instagram.
Still a lot.
It's still enough
Oh, is she
people that
posting shit
want
about
more.
it?
Yeah, she put, and so again, it's a little bit of a back and forth right now, and I'm trying to be diplomatic here. I don't want to wholly paint a person on either side as bad, but I will say,
Okay, what are you gonna say? Because I don't really like the sound of this. Because you know, to be clear, you can slightly defend someone's actions. Like I will say, to be fair, she didn't necessarily say that it was like that like the actual address. So fans would need to take a little bit of a step forward to actually figure out where it was. By the way, they did. It's very likely they did, because apparently the the second most searched thing for Jackson's is home address. This is a problem because the people who are saying this are people who are also covering the Cyberpunk drama. So it's very likely that Google would recommend them that as a search term. I don't think people understand Google. It's not just a straight up recommendation of the most search terms. This is the thing, by the way, with Wired as well. When they've Wired autocomplete interview, but they have the lessons. Like that's not really the the um web's most searched questions, is it? Because Google will recommend something based off your search history. So if you're covering the Cyberwolf drama, it's very likely. And by the way, when I say covered, I don't even mean like I mean literally someone who's consumed it. Google knows you've consumed it, so it's going to go, okay. Like a thing you're going to search for when you search for Jackson's is home address or Jackson's Sniper Wolf, that sort of thing. That's the sort of thing that you're going to get recommended, rather than the main thing is Jackson does, which should be, you know, looking at tech, looking at yesterday yeah, damn it, I forgot. Anyway, I will link the channel, I think, in the description. I think it should be there. But you know what I mean, that's something. It's not really valid, but apparently it is a commonly searched term. Maybe inaccurate, but seeing as people I get the information from are already covering it, so they're biased. For the Google searches, it's going to be directed at them anyway. But it looks to be that it's a well searched term. So the point is, to be fair to her, wasn't the actual address, was just a photograph, but also inspired people to search up his address apparently. So,
I don't agree with certain actions.
but the point I'm making is that you can defend several actions to an extent where you don't defend them, but you just go, well, it's not as bad as this. You know, she didn't dox him by pulling him out of his house, tying him to a lamppost, and then live streaming it as she assaulted him and oh, sorry, and you know, reared her followers on to follow her, and you discover where she was by posting the address and you know joining in. You can do that, but you know that is kind of like saying, well, it could be worse. Yes, it could. That's yeah, that certainly is true. It could be worse, but you know that's not the same as painting both sides and be biased. You're not being biased, really. You know, you just you know.
Sniper Wolf posted, I stepped in shit, and then people who talk shit in DMs and then suddenly become the victim when I say something mean back.
Oh, okay, sorry. I believe this is Just Eat. No, no. It turns out it was Adobe. Anyway, so yeah, that was a very odd thing. Like, yeah, say something mean back. Well, technically, no, Sniper Wolf. You didn't really say something mean back. Like, you doxed him. But technically speaking, if you remove the doxing, it isn't mean. Like, if you just said, oh, you know, Jack's films, let's talk like adults. Nothing of going to his home, and nothing of this is his home, but just away and nothing of he's 5 minutes away from a shoot, because if you also share the location of a shoot, then people can work that out. Um, if you did just said let's talk like adults, maybe even said, I'd like to talk like adults. I'd like to meet you in person. Something like that. That wouldn't be talking. That wouldn't be criticizing. That wouldn't be insulting. That wouldn't be anything. And that's the point. You weren't like verbally mean towards him until, well, I mean, in the actual doxing, kind of, sort of. Um, the whole thing of let's talk like adults is a little bit like we weren't talking about adults before. Like what? We weren't talking. We didn't talk before. You know. So um, so there's that. Um, and that's sort of the point there. It's not really. That's a bit of nothing there. Yeah.
What?
That what the fuck?
You didn't say something mean and showed up to his house and
Yeah.
posted it to 5 million people.
And then Jack,
That's I mean, she directly she didn't say something mean. Like she didn't say, I'm at this piece of shit's house. Like that. That would be something mean and doxing. But you didn't say something mean. But you doxed. Like
this is like I feel like the closest we ever got to drama. But I think the ultimate act is like, don't do this. Like doxing is never okay. It's a huge safety hazard. You know what I mean?
yeah, I mean one of the main issues with doxing is wherever your line is, followers may well cross it. If you think murder is okay, followers will cross it and go further, very possibly. If you think beyond murder is okay, even more dreadful things, followers can cross it and go. Like you would have to think that the worst thing that any human, even your own mind, can't imagine, beyond what you can even imagine, you must think that that is okay before you think that doxing is okay, because you do not know what will happen. Now, if you dox someone after you kill them, well,
And also there's people involved that are at risk that are not just Jack. He lives with his wife,
Right,
and, you
yeah.
know what I mean? Like his wife Erin and their dogs, and like it's like not, I don't know.
it'd be fucking weird if you attacked the dogs. That's actually like unless you actively don't like dogs, it's just a weird thing to do to personalize them, because dogs are not like voluntarily like, oh yes, I chose Jackson as an owner. It's like no, they didn't. So why would you attack the dogs? That the dogs is a weird thing. People do that though, by the way. They do kill people's dogs. The thing just to me doesn't really make much sense. It's a bit like killing a family member that doesn't really like them, but they like them. Like let's say there was like an ad that's like, I don't actually like that person. They're not very likable. My niece or nephew. I don't like them. They just there's just a vibe off them. I really really don't like them. Like if I had to choose between living to 80 and their life, I choose living to 80. And like, or something even more. Like I don't really care about them now. That's the thing. They would be probably willing to, I'm just thinking the dog isn't okay. This is a very weird topic. I'm just thinking the dog doesn't choose the person, so it's hardly it's a bit of a weird thing. It's taking hurting something that doesn't care about that thing, about that person, for the sake of hurting that person.
It's a very out of line move.
And it's also odd that there's, at least so far, and I think quite possibly never, any repercussions on the part of YouTube or any kind of punishment done by YouTube for this kind of behavior.
I've seen a lot of people that are like tagging YouTube and like the YouTube creators page to be like, this
So far, YouTube has said that they will temporarily demonetize. A lot of people have said this will be like a week. Not really. Technically speaking, YouTube could temporarily demonetize forever, because temporary just means we will eventually, which can mean we will eventually. Oh wait, look, YouTube has shut down. So no, but that wasn't our fault, was it?
because they always promote Sniper
But
Wolf.
to be clear, it probably will only be a very short period of time.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Also, by the way, it's very weird that they promote Sniperwolf, because Sniperwolf is potentially a legal landmine for them. Because if ever these TikTokers start to sue YouTube, it could potentially be like a class action or something. Like what I don't get right is you can make plans as a business that there won't be a radical change in law change, uh, or if there is, you can like do a lawsuit yourself for the there's a massive change or it's against the constitution or all this sort of stuff. Constitution can be changed, but all that But like it wouldn't be too much of a stretch. It would be a big change, but it wouldn't be too much of a stretch legally speaking. That YouTube could be almost sued out of existence by TikTokers the same way that YouTube was about to be sued out of existence by the likes of Disney and all, and more specifically, by the way, movie studio. Not movie studio, music studios, or one of the major reasons why YouTube had to introduce the Content ID system because music studios were saying no, you can't have our music. It's not really our music. It's musicians' music, but we own it legally. You can't have that on your platform. You can't, and it will sue you because it's piracy. And they introduced the Content ID system because, well, they don't want to get sued out of existence. So it would take very little for those TikTokers to en masse sue YouTube, and suddenly YouTube has a barrage of lawsuits it needs to fight. And a simple fix: ban reaction channels. Just saying.
I do.
So it makes sense to be like, yo, this person on your platform is like doxing other YouTubers.
Yeah. And so then Jack tweeted that she doxed her and said it was violating and gross, whatever. And then he
Isn't it?
kind of made his points about stealing content. But then she posted that and said, "This creep has been harassing me for months, then plays victim, saying I threatened him when I just wanted to talk to him." I have
harassing, as I made a point, harassing as in, okay, where was it again? I'll just see if I have the point I made. Actually, no, I think it was a comment, so that'd be terrifying. But anyway, I was just making a point like harassment, as in, revision of harassment is apparently making a series of videos with your content in them. Once again, Sniperwolf, the logical problem you've dug for yourself is that you can't criticize Jack's films without criticizing yourself. YouTube can't talk about Sniperwolf and being okay or Jackson's being bad without criticizing Sniperwolf. It's just a loophole of not a loophole, a circle of just, you can't criticize Jackson without criticizing Sniperwolf. You can't praise Sniperwolf without praising Jackson's more. The only way to criticize Jackson without criticizing Sniperwolf is by saying, no, Jackson's, you're not supposed to make the videos fun by themselves. It's not supposed to be like, what I'm trying to say is, your commentary track should be something. My commentary tracks aren't fun. They're not even interesting a lot of the time. But there's something. I do talk. Sniperwolf's is like nothing. There is like descriptions, and then that's it. Like there's very little. The odd one sometimes now and again. She'll say something, but most of the time, nope, not an ounce of stuff. So
all I did was tell people his address, and he's being weird.
like, to be clear, she posted an unblurred photo of his house. There's like house numbers there. You can just figure out where he lives.
That doesn't mean you want to talk.
Yeah, that is like pretty threatening.
Yeah, like a sniper scope image.
yeah, well, it's like we want to talk, as in like a mob might say, like, sit down, Jack. We want to talk to you. I hear you're saying you're critiquing the boss when the boss shot that child to the face. You said that was a bad thing. You kept saying it was a bad thing. Someone asked you. They said, is it a bad thing? And you said, yeah. And then you also went ahead and said the boss was bad for clubbing that. When he came to that shopkeeper and he had him buried in concrete. You said that was bad too. What's going on there, huh? We just want to talk. It's like, right. What was wrong with that? You keep going on about the boss. You're arresting the boss. I'm not really though. I'm just saying the boss shouldn't. I mean, no, he's your boss, not my boss. That your boss shouldn't like kill people for no reason other than not giving him money. Alright. Well, you're gonna have to talk with us. It's like, yeah, I guess you are talking with him, but, you know, just in a very threatening manner.
Of you having dinner, like, I just want to hang out, man.
That's like what a serial killer in a movie does.
Yeah.
That's what the sniper and sniper wolf means. Yeah.
Whoa.
I just want to talk.
I feel like you've generally been pretty insulated from that kind of like online conflict stuff. Like, I don't remember a
In
code.
general, yeah. I mean, I think there is from time to time a few jokes, which I think that this is good though. Somebody who is generally insulated from it, making jokes in their video, because it's like, you know, it's not that it's like, oh, this gets serious. Even your man or your one or whoever is talking about it. It's like, it's a joke. It's not even that, oh, it's so big that even they came in. It's just that, you know, it's like they don't usually talk. Now they made a little joke. They didn't say much. It's just a little joke.
This rivalry or war.
Yeah. I can't really remember one either. I mean,
I also haven't.
And commentary definitely has like a degree of distance, at least from like influencer.
Yeah.
Drama. There's a difference between commentary channels and drama channels. And I would say I would probably fall somewhere in the middle. There's many instances where there's influencer drama. I'm like, I don't really care about that. Either it's like everyone sort of knows, like Logan Paul is a scammer. Boom. You're a fucking idiot if you subscribe to Logan Paul. You know, you're a fucking idiot if you watch him. What if you pay to watch him fight? You're an idiot if you watch him or buy Prime. Right? That's it. Like, you're an idiot, and you deserve to lose your money because, you know, you should know. Now, obviously, if you're brand new to being a fan of Logan Paul, still don't really like it because his content is kind of shite, but, you know, maybe you don't deserve to lose your money there. But if you're a fan of Logan Paul for years, why? You've been scammed multiple times, or at least he's tried to scam multiple times. Maybe he didn't invest, but he tried to. You know, there's not much point in me making a reaction video to that because pretty much everybody who is any level of sense is in support of him, and it's not, and nobody in particular is like, I usually would agree with them, but like Danny Gonzalez made a pro Logan Paul video. He made like everyone's angry with Logan Paul for no reason. Like, no, Danny, you know what I mean? Like, there would be a legitimate reason for that. Like, what the fuck? This person who has usually gotten maybe not the most correct takes, but is generally in line with the average person's sensible view on things, is saying this isn't great. You know, that's kind of news, I guess, sort of thing. Like, this creator is maybe not as to be trusted as much as I don't usually trust creators, but you know, this creator isn't to not be really that great after all. You know, to be clear, to avoid defamation, I don't think Danny would sue me for defamation, but you know, because I'm tiny, Danny did not Danny Gonzalez did not make a video saying Logan Paul was good. So there we are. But it's just that, yeah, in general, I would say I'm probably in the middle between drama, content, and commentary.
Competitiveness, maybe, is the best way to put it.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever. I'm trying to think if there's anything that was like. I know there was like a little bit with like Fresh and Fit, but like that was like all they did was like make some like TikToks
and they're
about
awesome.
Me. Yeah, so yeah, I'm genuinely a fan of them.
You're jealous, I guess, is the problem.
Yeah, I was just mad that they were upset that they're mad at me.
You know what's really funny is the people. Yeah, Fresh and Fit got mad at you. Logan Paul's Pokemon/crypto guy.
Oh,
got mad
yeah.
at
That was
me.
Collectibles Guru
Sent me a bunch of DMs saying I was lying, and then he went.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that Jarvis made a video before he was Logan Paul thing, was it? I think it was before. Maybe it was after. You know, when he scammed dumb money or whatever, it's like, yeah.
Did another crypto scam.
Just to prove this is what it would look like if I did do it.
See, yeah, he told me I was like,
Yeah, I'm not sure which order it was in, but yeah.
meaning his good name or whatever, and then he went on to defraud more millions of dollars. So he's fine.
I, of course, am a frequent and consistent victim of the Iggy Azalea stan culture.
Right.
This has happened in the past, which I did not know existed until I entered the fray. It's a war I didn't know was happening.
Yeah.
Because
This Iggy Azalea thing.
I want to finish this Sniper Wolf message because it is interesting to me. I have no ill intentions. Period.
Wait, Sniper Wolf said this? Okay.
It's so sad when people have to constantly create.
What I find a bit of a problem, right, is when creators just I wouldn't say admit is the wrong word, but try and claim to be idiots. They're like, I mean, when I stabbed him, I didn't know that would send him to hospital. It's like, really, when you stabbed him with the knife, did you think like the knife was a fake knife? No, I knew it was a real knife. But okay. So you knew it was a real knife, and you stabbed him in the heart, in the area of the heart at least, you know. And why wouldn't you think that would hurt them? You are kind of stupid, aren't you? Like, seriously. Your claim is you didn't know it was going to send him to hospital. How fucking dense can you be? This is a card that a lot of creators play, which is I didn't know. Like, okay, so you're an idiot? Why does anyone watch you then? It is especially odd from creators who make content where they're like, not necessarily experts, but like they're supposed to be like, you know, almost like the cool dude or like the leader of a group of followers, you know. It's like, okay, I would prefer not to watch you because I would fear that if we had a meetup, you'd walk us all off a fucking cliff. But anyway, that's the thing there. It's very odd when creators do this. So maybe Sniperwolf has no ill intentions, but like, fucking stupid then, aren't you? Like, what? If you publicly show off someone's address, then maybe they're going to, maybe some of my fans are going to go ahead and do something. Wow, no ill intentions there now. I'm just a fucking idiot.
Drama to pay their bills, and I'm like, I do feel. So first of all, neither of these people have to create drama to pay their bills. They're doing just fine without drama. And historically, like, I don't know that Jack has been in drama.
Yeah, in general, no. Unless you count like iPhone parodies and the like, or covering back in the day, Jack has been a long fighter against reaction counter. For example, is it Jinx? Odd name. Which came first? The whole thing of, you know, I think the whole thing of you've got a Jinx came first, right? I don't know. Maybe not though. It's unfortunate. You have things where like maybe it could not be. It could be a different thing. You know, you have things where like in cultures where you've got a culture that has a name, and then, you know, an English person goes, "That's a good name for a word," and just is like, "Oh, what does that mean? Oh, it means something horrible." Okay, well, fuck you, because I know every single person who's from that culture or from that heritage who has that name is gonna, you know, people are gonna go, "Oh, that's a bit an odd name," like, yeah. But so I'm not gonna comment on that. Maybe it is a heritage name, but anyway, the point is they have had a history. Jack has had a history of fighting action, so kind of in a way drama, but yeah, not really.
And I again am not like saying that his actions are perfect here, but I don't know that he has a history of like picking fights with.
Once again, I don't like this whole thing of these actions aren't perfect. How would they be better? It's the same nonsense we hear from people who are like, "Oh, protesters, just protest." Great. Don't do anything violent. Great. I get this from like Nick is not green. Like, no. No, you will achieve nothing if all you do is just protest unviolently, but the protests aren't big. To be clear, this includes everyone, but I don't necessarily agree with you. I'm not saying I support you with violence. I'm just saying I understand why you are being violent. If you're a fascist and you have fascist protests where you do something awful things, yeah, there's a reason for that. They're trying to incite fear so that, you know, people do as they say. I.e., let's say there's a fascist protest and the fascists burn down a bunch of buildings and they say we don't want migrants in our country. The intention is to get the government, who maybe doesn't support them, to change the legislation on migrants. The idea is there'll be more burning buildings if you don't. It's kind of terrorism, but also not, because it's like terrorism but a little bit small. You know, if you smash a shop up a little bit, is that really terrorism, is it? Like if a terrorist did that, it'd be like, okay, weird choice, buddy. You're going to prison now. Not even sure if you should go to prison because weird choice. Not really much damage. Because we're gonna make. Yeah, we're gonna. What will we do now? We can't really even retaliate to this action because well, like what? What happened here? You know. How do you? Once again, how do you even retaliate to a terrorist organization? Because like, okay, you imprisoned one of our members. Okay, and we're willing to die for this. Yeah, anyway, side thing. Just to me, just doesn't make much sense to. You can't really go after terrorist organization, but that's a different thing. Geopolitical politics. We can dive into that later on. My point is basically, weird thing. People say, "Oh, you're not perfect." Okay, protest movements shouldn't just be peaceful if they're trying to achieve anything and they're not big. Because if a protest movement attracts, you know, 30% of the entire population, yeah, that's a big protest movement. That's going to get some eyes and ears, and that's going to get some politicians to shake in their boots. But if it's not big, it's going to be like, okay, this is tiny protest. Like, you do realize people were protesting for green policies for decades. People were protesting for green policies in the 90s, even the 80s. You know, the 90s and 80s, because they knew fossil fuel was bad. They knew logging was bad. We knew all this for years, guys. So fuck off if you're a person who's a bit older and you're talking about protest movements and you're an environmentalist. 'Cause no, let's not talk nonsense. Those people were peaceful and they achieved nothing because they were brushed aside. Had more of them acted more violently, who would have known? You know? Had more of them done actions of like breaking up shops and all that sort of stuff, who would have known? Perhaps we would have had a better world where we wouldn't have had such environmental disaster. I wouldn't have had 20, 30 years of CO2 increasing by the year. But sure, Jack is not perfect. Yeah. His actions, I guess, yeah.
Creators, this is
But, you know.
it seemed very out of character, which is kind of surprising to me. But
Sorry,
like picking fights with creators, this it seemed very out of character.
I think it's more that Sniper Wolf is probably the biggest reaction. Like, it's a very odd thing when people say this out of character. Jax Films is also well known for, I believe it was Jinx, right? That's the name of the creator. Who was doing the same thing Sniper Wolf was doing. Actually, technically speaking, by the way, doing more of what Sniper Wolf was doing. Because Jinx had more of the screen, was their face. You know? Arguably more. And also arguably more because they were uploading, full videos instead of multiple TikToks. So they weren't uploading as many videos. They weren't ripping off as many people as Sniper Wolf was doing, in a single video, that is. And that's the point there. So that's why I critique that. It's not really accurate to say that it's out of character. It's not out of character really. It's Jax Films does not like reaction content. That hasn't changed. Okay, yeah. That was the policy. You attack the person who's the highest of the pile. You say this is bad, this is bad, this is bad, this is bad, this is bad. What did he do in the past? What we did was he reacted to Jinx videos, and of his videos. Makes sense. You replicate what the person's doing. Now, if someone wants to criticize you for it, they can't, because what are you doing? You're doing what they're doing, but better. More ethical. You're improving the ethics of what they're doing. And sure, people can critique your actions, but they can only critique your actions and also critique the actions of the person you're reacting to. They can't critique you and say, but that person is fine. No. You can be doing something bad, but then the person is doing something bad, because the person is doing something worse. And that's what I really don't like with this conversation. The people who are defending Sniper Wolf in pre-doxing mode, or, attacking Jacksons, you do realize you can't attack him without attacking Sniper Wolf, because he's doing the exact same thing, but better.
Which is kind of surprising to me, but then also, at any point, posting this after posting his house is wild to me.
Yeah. You kind of lose any sort of ground to stand on.
You don't really lose it. It was already not really valid to say that he was harassing you or wasn't. But yeah, you completely lose thing if you're like, I don't want, I just
After you do that.
I have like more respect for just some old school villainy.
Yeah.
Like, don't try and backtrack now.
Yeah, go full tilt with it.
Yeah.
Go crazy.
Here's the address again, by the way.
Yeah, be there right now.
I want to chat.
Yeah, I'm doing a meetup.
It's your house.
Doing a Sniper Wolf meetup at Jack's Film's house.
yeah, as I said, that's actually okay. Well, that's important. Anyway.
Pretty crazy that was her response because like his whole bit was like, I think the reason he was doing so many videos about her is like the parody of her style of content of upload.
Yeah, thank you. This is the reason why this video is probably Jarvis Johnson and not, the podcast itself. Because thank you, Curtis. Yes.
So much.
Yeah,
right.
I know the thumbnails are her like him hogging.
Really? You just understood that, Jared? Like, for fuck's sake, Curtis got this apparently instantly.
Yeah. So I think I can see what he was going for, obviously, and I think a lot of stuff was developing the past few weeks and months where it was like
bubbling.
Yeah, and like she was like,
yeah, this is actually a thing, which is Jackson's was also helping creators claim the video. Interestingly, by the way, they apparently submitted copyright claims and copyright strikes, but it doesn't appear as if she got those strikes. So I would wonder about YouTube. Was YouTube possibly maybe not striking her, even though the creators wanted to click strike? Because anyway, the point is, so there was a lot of an increase with copyright claims. Jackson was increasing the rate of creators knowing about Cyberpulse theft and claiming the videos, because obviously, if you're a creator and you don't have content ID, your content doesn't immediately come up on the thing. So you have to actually find the video first. You have to find the infringing video and then find your video and go, this is my video. And so that was the case. It was also the case that so in relation to them that she had to remove the videos from her videos and from the videos rather, and that was causing the time to often go below the 8-minute mark or the roughly 10-minute mark, which if there was enough of them, could potentially remove her from mid-rolls. But who knows, YouTube might be making an extra little privilege thing for Sniper Wolf, maybe adding in mid-rolls for Sniper Wolf for less than 8 minutes, because that's her special one. I wonder, by the way, if Sniper Wolf has like a relation in YouTube, like high up, because it would make a lot more sense than this weird thing of, oh, she makes us money. Because like YouTube, you decide who makes you money, you decide. So like you could just begin to remove Sniper Wolf from, just softly unsubscribe fans from her who haven't watched her videos in a while, and just push them towards other content. You could do if you wanted. Anyway, the point is, so it was causing Sniper Wolf to lose videos from lose time from videos, and also was causing people apparently to stop viewing her because of just like actually basically saying to people, do you really want to watch someone who does this sort of thing? And apparently this has coincided with a drop in about half. Her views have almost halved in a period of time where it began to now. So yeah, that's just the point there.
Cutting stuff out of videos because people were like finally claiming their own TikToks and stuff, and like a lot of people were like finding weird stuff about her videos. So I think it probably just reached like a tipping point where she was like,
it's like I have to acknowledge that like I don't want to seem like we're taking any harassment of women lightly here,
right.
And also like
yeah, as I covered, a lot of people who covered this drama, well, actually, it's not really drama. It's law breaking, to be honest. Like I believe it is against the law in the state that Sniper Wolf and Jack are in. That it is against the law to dox somebody. There is a bit of a complication over if it is legally considered doxing because it wasn't the actual address, but it apparently is against the law. Also, by the way, once again, the content theft is also against the law, but it is not criminal law. It is civil law, I believe it is called. So that's a little bit more complicated. Obviously, you can't get police involved there. Police aren't great in America, but um, but there are a lot of people who are covering the law breaking that are very misogynistic. I've seen some of them before that call Sniperwolf ABCH and say that they would have shot her, which is a weird thing. They apparently think that it is okay to shoot someone if they are on your property. No, it's not. A lot of people think this. It's not actually legally okay to do this. Um, there's one main reason for this. If you lured someone over, like if you sent them a pager where you said come to my house and then gave them the address, and then they came to your house and you shot them, and one was like, well, there's no record of them being told to come here, so they were harassing me. No, you can't just shoot someone on address. And if you can, it's probably going to be more of a, it's probably not likely to be they came to my house, and not more likely to be a stand your ground law. Not sure if there's a stand your ground law in LA, but I I believe it does. So actually, not your property, but just literally, I was feeling threatened, which is a terrible thing, by the way, in America. Stand your ground laws should be abolished, but anyway, uh, yeah, it's insane that you're allowed to just kill someone and go, well, I felt threatened. You felt threatened. Can you explain why? No, I just did. Okay, so you murdered a person then. But yeah. So technically speaking, they're not wrong. You could have shot her, but not because it's property. It's because we could say you felt threatened. But yeah, point is, there was a lot of misogyny that I had to experience. No, I didn't have to experience it. No, that's not the right term. I had to experience it. Be experiencing misogyny. No, I had to see it, or I did see it rather. Yeah, had to experience it would be a very incorrect use of language there. Apologies for that, but yeah, there was a lot of it, so that's fair.
It's tough because Sniper Wolf has a gigantic platform, but is also a person and is like,
The only issue is that Sniper Wolf has also been. I wouldn't say it's invalid just because she has, deliberately, you know, taken advantage of the whole sexism from some men who have. There's a good few men who've started watching her content because of their opinions on how she looks. There's a reason why she's very successful at doing fucking nothing. It's because, well, it's also why I think that it's very odd to call Sniper Wolf's fans children. This is the thing I see a lot from creators who criticize somebody and go, "Oh, your childhood fans." Like, no, like Logan Paul is very likely to have a good chunk of children fans, right? But there's a reason why he's also very successful because a lot of people who grew up with him are now adults. They have money you can take. Children often have access to a lot of money because of things like credit cards. Like, if I have a child and my credit card limit is a couple of $1,000s, to be clear, I don't have a couple of $1,000s I could easily lose. But from a creator point of view, a little child can take the credit card, buy a bunch of stuff, $1,000 gone. Now, it's not really my money, but it means that it's a way of getting the money, so it becomes yours. You know, sort of plunging someone to debt by their child way. Yeah, it's kind of bad, but no, it's actually awful. But I mean, that's a strategy. But in general, a lot of these people who are on YouTube for a long time have very much adult audiences, and I would assume that Sniperwolf has very much so strong adult to young, like older teenage audience, because that's the sort of attraction there. But also probably a good, strong enough childhood audience as well. From thing there. It's just how people say that children are the biggest people watchers of YouTube because, well, yeah, well, YouTube has been around for decades at this point. It's not really accurate, but anyway, to argue that they're all children, but yeah, you know, um,
because Sniper Wolf has a gigantic platform, but is also a person and is like, it's not like, because I've done Darman Bingo and I did it for a long time. And the only reason I stopped was because
The
out of solidarity
yeah, the writers and actors are unpaid and not ununionized.
with the
They're
striking
paid, but they're just
Darman actors who
Right.
got fired by him. And
Which is another, like, I guess, swirling element related to Sniper Wolf is that she still frequently does Darman collabs.
true. And
Which is another, like, I guess,
out of solidarity with the striking Darman actors who
Right.
got fired by him.
Oh, actually, yeah. I wonder if the shoot was for a Diamond Club. I wonder if it was. It could well be. It could well be. It could well be that the shoot is for a Diamond Club. Obviously, like that's a good point actually. I have not heard that. Because I have not heard what the shoot was about. Because obviously, we don't know. But it's actually very likely it was for Diamond Club. I wonder if it will come out actually. Because the thing, if she shoot, I assumed that if she had a shoot, it would be for, because she doesn't really make videos beyond reaction videos. Maybe on her other channels, she's like 3 or 2 others. But it could be a Dharma collab actually. That's a good point. Jordan, good point. Yeah, the actors too far, but also they're
And
which is another, like, I guess, swirling element related to Sniper Wolf is that she still frequently does Darman collabs.
true.
Which is neither here nor there.
I mean,
But that's just an interesting kind
True.
of like through line.
But yeah, so it's like for me, I was like making fun of the show and the tropes of a show that is like written and produced, and we were
Right.
never like making fun of the actors or anything like that.
yeah, neither was Jackson's though. This is the problem once again of somebody like Jackson's wasn't going. Oh, you look disgusting today, Sniper Wolf. Oh, you look horrible, Sniper Wolf. Oh, what's that you're wearing? No, it wasn't saying that. You know. So to act as if it's the same as if, Darman was, you know, was what? Like I get what would it be? It would be yeah. I don't really see how this is any different to be honest.
But I have to noodle on I took
I guess I would say it's worse though, surely. Because the actors involved in Darman aren't making the creative decisions. The writers involved in Darman are probably not the ones who decide to make it so fucking formulaic that it's basically just the same video. They are just going, okay, we have to stretch this concept into a great deal of videos. Because Darman has said these are the videos that do algorithmically well. So, okay, another concept. How do we come up with this concept? Okay, okay, there's a lamp on that desk there. So, lamp maker. Okay, lamp maker gets bullied by light. Philips CEO. What happens next will shock you. There we go. There we can make a video about that. That's the sort of thing there. So Darman is the person you're making fun of in that scenario, but it's not really the person you're making fun of, because when like the actor goes, remember, what what doesn't what always what's in the darkness always comes to light, whatever bullshit there is, in Dharma that makes no sense and isn't even true to life. When that's said there, you are kind of making fun of the actor who's saying it. So I would say objectively, Jackson's is in a more of a moral, in a much better moral position than you are, because when you're making fun of the videos, you're kind of making fun of the actors as well. I mean, sure, that's not your intention, but like you kind of are though, And also some of the acting, let's face it, isn't the greatest. It's kind of wooden, it's kind of robotic. To be fair, that is what happens though when you have the same fucking video, and people are sort of like, this is a different character, but also kind of the same character. Like it could be. They have a slightly different backstory, but they're basically the same. You know?
totally see where you're coming from, where it's like making fun of the volume of the content, but it optically can, I can totally understand if you're a woman on.
Yeah, I can totally understand. By the way, before we get to the woman thing, I can understand if you are someone who hasn't actually watched the fucking videos that you could see that. Yeah, I can understand that. Advice for you: watch the videos, you know. Go ahead and watch them. That's probably gonna blow up the mic, but anyway. Just just watch the videos, man. Just watch the videos. And then you'll experience what the videos are like. Obviously, if Jackson was known for shouting slurs and being very offensive and all that, and was one of those people who were like, "Oh yeah, you're gonna cancel me," blah, blah, then obviously maybe don't watch the videos because it might be very very upsetting and all that. But he's not, so you know the likelihood of him doing that is very unlikely. So also, if he does that, it's out of character. So a good chunk of his fans are probably gonna burn away. So you can go, well, that's a failing track record there, you know.
Online, and you see this dude's just making like
Yeah,
30 videos about
Yeah, that's a bad
a
look.
woman
for
creator.
sure.
It's a bad look, and it's like
No,
Like, no offense, man, but like Sniperwolf can't really talk because like she's objectively done videos where, first of all, she has abused women for content, not in the physical way, but in the you know show us your thingamajigs way, you know, or she's doing things, and that sort of thing is I'm not saying, by the way, that makes it okay for her to experience things, but I'm just saying she knows what it's like as well, though, to be on the exploiting side. She knows as well what it's like to be the sexist and to profit off of sexism. She knows.
shit my pants ironically. It's like I shit all over the floor.
Yeah, and it's like again, like I know Jack, so maybe I'm giving him too much of the benefit of the doubt, like I'm biased, but I haven't spoken to him in a long time.
Once again, you didn't watch the videos, you've said. Now, I don't want to sound like those people who keep bringing up the point, you didn't watch the videos, and it's like, well, I don't really need to watch the videos because, like, I know what they're like. But in this case, you're saying, oh, maybe give them the benefit of the doubt. No, I've watched the videos. They're not bad. They're actually a little bit. I will say, we'll say one small criticism. When it comes to the bingo, he gives tropes, but I would critique the placement of things like actual insight. Like it's a bit odd that was on the bingo. Like he would have actual insight where like I've seen maybe twice Sniper Wolf has actually made an actual point where there's actually something to say. She's actually said something about the TikTok or in relation to it, you know. And there's also been a few instances where Sniper Wolf will go away from the TikTok and talk about something else, but I'm going, well, actually, that's a good point. Like if you just clip that out and have that as like a YouTube short, just without the TikTok, that would be a perfectly acceptable point to make. It's not relevant to the TikTok in any way, you know, but it's something to say. It's something valid to say. I think it's fine. And he said like that's a nothing burger or not relevant. Like okay, it's not relevant, but it is a point. You can't just say okay, it's not relevant. I go off in tangents in the videos all the time. If someone said to me it's not relevant, okay, sorry, does that make it bad? Oh, I apologize for that. But that's the way that this video is made. I made the point that did happen. You know, so I'm just saying that there's criticisms you made. Jackson's he's doing tropes, not necessarily just faults. They're not just faulty tropes. Tropes are central. If I was at Jarvis Johnson, I would have said, I'm not sure if he's going to continue doing Sniper Bingo. It will be very odd, very odd sort of feeling, I guess, for the start. But get back into it. I think it'll be good. And I think if other people start doing Sniper Bingo as well, I think if loads of creators start doing Sniper Bingo, it'll be good. And I would remove that. I would remove actual insight, and I'd also remove the general consensus of a nothing burger because I don't think that's very fair to do, really. I don't think it's fair. But yeah. Besides that, no.
So I don't know anything about this, but with all that being said, the latest post on Sniper Wolf's Instagram is
yeah. This is amazing. The use of we go to your house. What do you do?
a selfie with "We show up to your house
Wait, we showed your house, yeah.
WYD."
Okay, so
Who's the other person? Is that
Maybe a sister or something.
Oh, okay.
What
But-
do you do?
it's Jack.
I don't know if like making light of that
Yeah, it's your sister.
this moment it's like what is a very serious action is maybe the right
Also illegal.
path forward. You know?
Oh, like
I'm saying is, if I was starting off and I was talking to a lawyer, the lawyer was saying, no, you probably don't meet the definition. Probably isn't for definite. Just because the lawyer's like, you probably, if Jackson's sues you for doxing him, you probably will win because of this technicality. That depends. Because a judge might go, well, yeah, sure, you didn't post his address, but, you know, you posted enough information that because you have a number of fans that, you know, they probably work it out. I'm sure LA, by the way, has, or California to be specific, has many instances of doxing. So I guess a lawyer could go, well, no, there's probably a massive amount of so when I say the history of doxing, I mean history of doxing YouTubers and celebrities. Probably is a massive history of people who are famous doxing other people who are famous, because it's the place where famous people are. By the way, small criticism of LA. Why the fuck do YouTubers move to LA? It really annoys me when YouTubers are complain when they talk about rental issues and like house prices and all that sort of stuff and all these things, and they move to LA. Fuck off. Don't complain about any financial things when you're a YouTuber who moves to LA, because you don't need to move to LA if you're a YouTuber. If you're someone who's from America and California in general and you move to LA, still feels a little bit odd, like why would not move a little bit outside LA? But you know, America's a big place, you know. But if you're an American who is born and raised in New York, or if you're not American, very hard to me if you move to LA. If you're someone who moves to America to a different place, sure, but just please stop moving to LA. I don't like the vibes that I get off it. Actors can say that they can move to LA because in their case it's not quite the same, because obviously they are subject to Hollywood, and Hollywood often films or in LA, so you know it's not like they can go, oh, no, I'll film from home in my New York apartment. No, you won't. You won't do that. You'll film in LA. So fly out or drive out to LA. You're ready. You need to be ready this morning. You know, obviously for them, they need to be, you know, by the shoot. But for YouTubers who don't have that, to me it just seems very weird. I just stopped doing that. But anyway, the point is, yeah, it's
that
Like being like
post there,
making
yeah.
a meme of like "We show up to your house."
Yeah.
What do you do?
Right.
Are you concerned?
Yeah.
you sue the person.
Pretty bummed actually.
Yeah.
Reach out to you.
Also, I think it is beyond civil. I think it is illegal in like a police sense.
Too, probably.
Yeah.
First and foremost.
I'll be right back. You guys keep talking.
So potentially, you know, you sue them, and the police get involved, and suddenly they.
Right.
Oh, I don't like this. Oh, this sucks.
This is stupid.
Ow.
Why
Ow.
did you- it hurts.
Do you ever get people pushing you?
Okay, so that's that. Yeah, I will say there was a few good points there. No offense meant to Jarvis. Actually, kind of all offense meant. Pretty much all of them were by Curtis or Jordan. So, yeah. Jarvis Johnson was wrong about Sniper Wolf. Not really, that much. I would say Jarvis Johnson would be more wrong about Jack's films. Very odd. I don't like this one. I've seen multiple people go, I haven't actually seen the videos, but like, all those videos, man, like, you keep making videos, we get the point. It's like, you know, once again, if I cover something, if I'm passionate about something, you know, let's say climate change. Imagine, if you will, you said that to the likes of, you know, all the climate channels out there that make videos devoted to climate change. We're like, what are you going on about? We get the message, like, climate change is a serious issue. Like, Yeah. You know the way we're still building fossil fuel plants? We're still taking out fossil fuel. Do you know the way that's still occurring? Yeah. That's the point of the content, to make you aware of that. You know, we are continuing to make this planet worse. It's not even that we're, not building green energy. It's not even that we're not cleaning up the oceans. Uh, it's not even, because technically speaking, we are. We are cleaning up the oceans. The only problem is we're cleaning up the oceans at a lower rate than we're dumping. You know, the issue is not, oh, we're not building solar farms. We are building solar farms. The problem is we're also building fossil fuel plants. So, to me, just very, very much annoys when people say this sort of thing. Doesn't really work in this instance at all. Jack's films there's a few criticisms I've made Jack's films. The whole thing of having actual insight and like Nothing Burger in there. Nothing Burger thing is a bit divided, but actual insight I think shouldn't have been on there, because that's not really fair to put them as a bingo for. Because like, isn't that the point? That you would want actual insight? Isn't that the entire point of the like? Saying actual insight and putting it alongside of, you know, steals someone's joke by clipping it is a bit of an odd thing to do. Like, okay, but those are polar opposites, you know. Um. So yeah. In general, I will should have a link to Jack's Films and JJ Jack's Films, the channel that does the stuff, so you can actually watch it for yourself. You know, like a fucking person who actually knows what they're talking about. Anyway, so yeah. Uh, Not a great point from Sad Boys there, but I linked their channel anyway, because they now should they make good stuff down again. I don't really like what they've said there. But Curtis Connor also will link them. They made some actual points and actually came back at Jarvis for the incorrect things he said, and actually explained the things that Jack was doing. So, you know, uh, yeah, and Jordan as well had made the point there, and actually made the relevant point that it could possibly be a Darman shoot, which would be very interesting. What do you do, Jarman? The famous person you're collaborating with, goes to somebody's house. What do you do? Do you release the video? If you've paid them, you kind of have to. But if it's a revenue share, is that in the contract? It may very well not be. It would make a lot of sense for it not to be, because well, in general, when you do a rev share thing, people don't go, you must upload this video. Like, okay, but it's a rev share, so like we share in the profits, so it's unlikely that you'd not post it. Anyway, point is, yeah, I would say interesting thing. I wonder what will happen. Oh wait, yeah, yeah. In the end, YouTube decided to give her a temporary monetization ban. Not a temporary ban, by the way, a temporary monetization ban. And of course, that means you can still say, give me money here. It means you can still earn money off of merch. And what do creators do whenever they get a monetization ban? They go, oh, donate to me. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, my video got demonetized. Blah, 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 blah. All these things. Which, if a creator's video gets demonetized and they upload irregularly, sure. Or it's a video that they spent a lot of time and money on, sure. But if it's a creator like Sniperwolf, where they upload so many videos that each individual video doesn't really matter, doesn't really matter, because like, okay, this video got demonetized because you lost like a couple of $1,000 that you're gonna make back instantly from the fans who go, oh my, you got demonetized, did it? Anyway, I often wonder, do creators sometimes just say they got demonetized, for the test, like just to see, or because anyway, it's just a bit of an odd thing. I don't often wonder, by the way. I've sometimes wondered, because do they just say it? Because it would make sense, fans would swallow it, and some creators, they say it and they get a massive boost in revenue off of donations. Anyway, all in all, don't really think that it was a great set of points made from Jarvis there.